Right, morning. I'm here again. I'm doing this, revisiting MK677. This is for Jeff, who asked me to give him a report on how I'm getting on with it. It was actually 38 or 39 days when I actually mentioned MK677. I've now been on it 3 months, or 13 weeks to be exact. But what can I say? I'm really still more than impressed with it, and it's doing well. You know, actually now we all know the reason that I used it first. The reason for using it at all was the knee, which I badly injured in 1983, which was 35 years ago. If you don't know, I'll give you a quick recap. And I was wrestling. I came off a corner post. The leg hyperextended, snapped up that way, and then came straight off. I was in hospital for 3 months. Foot was paralysed for 4.5 years. The consultant came round to see me. In fact, one thing I've always remembered, he was a great man. He was an Indian doctor, which way back then was rarer. But anyway, maybe not. But anyway, he came to me and he said, "You'll never wrestle again." That was my living then. That's what I did, and I loved it. I loved it to bits. I loved every second of it. And as you know, I did resume it again, but to be honest, I was never as good after that injury. That's life, innit? Anyway, he did say to me, I remember him coming to me one day and saying, "Young man, as one door closes, another opens." And I've never been told a truer thing in the whole of my life. And I've always remembered what that doctor said to me, the consultant. And he was getting on then. He must have been in his 60s, but he was a brilliant man. So he's obviously he's got to be dead now because, I'm 70, so he's got to be, isn't he? But anyway, yes, I owe him a lot, and it was excellent. And there are good doctors, and as you know, there are bad doctors as well. But anyway, back to the story. Yes, so I started it, and after the 38 days, there was much improvement in the knee. And now at 3 months, I'm now reporting again now that, in fact, I'm going to go off the subject slightly here, because what the benefits that I have had does not mean everybody else or anyone else is going to get exactly the same benefits. Right, and I'll give you an example. Anybody remember ephedrine? Ephedrine was, way back in the 80s, was called, you could buy it as Ultimate Orange. It was full of ephedrine. In a powder form, out of a big tub, put it in, whisk it up, down you go, it was flying. And it was good. Used correctly, it was good. But you always got somebody that they always abuse everything. They abuse it, and it gets banned. So, this is the way of life. But I'm getting off the subject again, yeah. Right, steroids. Everybody's used steroids. I started with Winstrol. It's called Stromba then. And Stanozol is the chemical name, yeah. I used it for 2 months. I took 4 or 5 milligram tablets per day for 2 months. My body weight then was 11 stone 10. I went from 11 stone 10 to 13.10. Bench press went from 310, which I did that as a natural weight, went to 400 pound. Did 400 pound bench press. Now, it worked for me. It was great. I put that weight on. Now we'll go to other substances. Sustanon 250. Another testosterone. Did nothing at all for me. Didn't work. Right, so that's what I'm getting at. Certain things work well for certain people. Other things don't. You have to search and find what works for you. Yeah? Ephedrine, all I ever took was a 30 milligram tablet just prior to training. I always remember one of our wrestler guys, we used to call him the Axeman, Mad Mick his name was. He was take 20 at a time, which is stupidity, yeah. But that was the character of the man. And I do remember when we was wrestling in Blackpool, he wrestled as the Axeman, and we used to go down the front to advertise the show that was on that night, on a Sunday night, and a tram pulls up. So he's there with his Axeman mask on, his axe, and what does he do? He runs on the tram. I ain't joking. Bedlam. They were trying to get out the windows to get away. You've got a madman got on the tram with an axe. What do you expect to happen? Hence his name, Mad Mickey. Okay? Anyway, back to the story. I keep wandering off, as I always do. But anyway, yeah. So that's what I'm trying to say. So for me, yes, it's done great. The knee is a lot better. But I've got to be honest, it's actually, now it's bone rubbing on bone. And I don't think it's good as it is. It's never going to correct that. And as maybe if I'm still here for a few more years, it's never going to be able to repair that fully. Okay? Has anybody ever had a ganglion? Do you know what a ganglion is? I had one in my wrist here. Went to the doctors. He says, oh yes, it's nothing to worry about, he says. I thought, nothing to worry about. I was doing bench press and I was in agony because the pressure on the joint, what they do, ganglions grow in between joints. It's a growth that grows in between the joints. Not cancerous or anything. So he says, just go home. He says, young man, hit it with the Bible and it'll burst and you'll be fine. I hammered it with the Bible. I don't know, it had to be a Bible. But anyway, he says, hammered it with the Bible. Maybe it's because it's a thick, heavy book, not religious stuff. But you never know, dear. Anyway, hammered it with the Bible. All I did was bruise my wrist. So what I did, I got a syringe, green pin, 21 gauge, stuck it into it was quite pronounced, you see, quite like a lump. So I pushed it in. I got my former wife then to pull on the syringe and suck this yellow stuff come out, and the lump went down. Great. Was great. 4 weeks later it was back. Same size again. So tried the same procedure. 21 gauge needle, pushed it in, pull on the sucker. As she pulled the sucker and released it, it just went back in. It had now gone solid. It would not suck anything out. So at this particular time in the 80s, I used to have a can of cider. Not till I was drunk, but deliberately this time I took myself very close to not knowing what I was doing. The reason being, so when I stuck the syringe in and there was no pain. No blood, no pain. Don't know why, but that's the way it is. So I opened on that. I got a Stanley knife. I held it. I slit it across the top. And then, because I was like half sizzled, I managed to get under it and dig it out, and then I got some pliers and I pulled it out, and I was okay. I bandaged it up, and it obviously the pliers didn't go into the wound. I then covered it up. I did some stuff on it to keep it clean, bandaged it up, and it's gone. Okay, so now I've got another ganglion. This wasn't the reason for using MK677. But this time it's on my neck, on the back of the neck here, right in the joint, just there, just about there. There. That's the thing there. That little lump, just there. It was twice that size. It was twice that size to such a point. If I was driving the car and I had to look to the right, I could turn my head to there, and I couldn't go any. The pain was like, anyway. 3 months later, MK67, neck is back to normal. There's still a slight pain, but not like it was. So I never in a million years thought that would sort this out. But I was just going along with, age, blah, blah, blah. But yes, it's worked. It's working. I still feel I'm on 50 milligrams of testosterone and anthite once a week. The normal feeling of 50 milligrams of that is 0. I mean, the normal adult male produces 80 milligrams of testosterone a day. 80. I've been doing 50 now for the last 6 months. All right, it was decadurabolon before. Here's another thing, decadurabolon. Side effects from decadurabolon, Decadic. You've all heard of Decadic. Doesn't do that for me. I get the opposite effect, which is great, but then again, things are different. I feel great on it. I get a good pump. So I switched to the testosterone, which is not going to give me the same feeling. When I was on the 60 milligrams though, like I was saying, it had gone. I felt flat, there was nothing there. So I've switched to I got the next blood test in the middle of May. Middle of next month, I've got to go for the blood test to test hematocrit and hemoglobin because mine was way too high. So anyway, that's where I am at the moment. I feel great. It's done more than I could have expected. I feel tight again, as though I'm using 200 milligrams of gear, and I'm only on 50 milligrams of testananthate once a week, and it's doing the job. And that's my latest update on this, and that's all I got to say. But great.